This right here is the Fragment champion obtainable in the month of October if you play Raid Shadow Legends and do all the events and tournaments required to get 100 fragments to get this champion in your game, almost for free. You have to do a lot of events and tournaments, spend your resources to get him. This fusion, this fragment event is starting on the 30th of September, and already we can see there is a negative feedback about this champion because so far his kit or his skills does not impress people. He's not being hyped up. In this video, I want to take a look at his kit, his skills, his abilities, and find out whether it's one that is be useful for my account or is one of those ones that will just obtain as people who have the resources to get him and leave him in the vault or leave him in the fragment summon and never really summon him or only use him to get CVC 30k points. So let's go over his skills and all that and find out whether it's worth going for or totally skipping this fusion, especially the fact that we just completed a Thor fusion. We are still on getting the 5-star and split soul for Thor, and it's a very long event that is draining all our resources, and now we see one fragment event fusion coming up on the 30th. People in raid are not so happy about this one, so it's totally fine for you to skip this one if you're drained of resources. But let's find out if his kit is worth going for or if it already have something in raid that we already have other champions doing and is not unique, is not special in any way. His design does look good though. I think it's from the Ogrin Tribes faction. He does have fire coming up from the flames of his horn. Yes, he does have just one horn, but it looks like it's 4 right here. We'll talk about his kit and all that, but first let me tell you there is a guaranteed void event coming up. That's gonna be starting when? Let's see. If you see this champion in the Lady Mikage portal right here, this champion is one of the epic champions needed to summon Lady Mikage. If you still don't have this champion, although it's quite easy to get because it requires you to get void rares, so most people already have this champion. So this champion is the one that is being obtained from 25 void shards, and that's gonna be starting when? On the 26th of September. If you don't have this champion yet, you have a guaranteed void epic event starting that day, 26th of September. How many void shards do you have to pull to get him? 25 void shards, right? By your 25th void shard, you will get this champion for sure. If you keep pulling 1, 2 through all the way to 25, you pick up this champion guaranteed. So if you don't have him yet, this might be your opportunity. If you're the only one that is holding you back from getting your Lady Mikage, I already have him, thank goodness, so I will not be going for this one. So that's the event right here. This champion is from the Skinwalkers faction if you want to take a closer look at him, and you can find him in-game right here. I'm glad I already have a copy of him. I don't need 2 copies of this one, so it's not a champion I want extra copy of. Let me know if you built him or if he's helping you in any particular area. The 1 copy I have is just to help me get Lady Mikage, and so far he's just chilling waiting for his turn to be fused into the Mikage fusion. So I appreciate this type of event that they do for those players who still don't have a Mikage. This type of event guarantees you that champion for sure. I hope the next one they'll do guaranteed. I think they've done something like this, and I already have 2 copies of her. The one I'm still waiting for is these 2 epics right here that I still don't have. So that's coming up on the 26th. It will be available for only 23 hours to be precise, and if you don't pick him up by then, you will not be able to get him from that guaranteed. All right, now on to the main event that I wanted to talk about for this video is to take a look at this champion's skills and abilities that just launched in the game right here, and that's his avatar. That's what it looks like if I use my browser instead. Boom. So he looks like any other Ogrin Tribes faction champion with the big belly right here and looks like a drunkard. His arms are inside a keg. Good design though. Nothing unique from the Ogrin Tribes, but just different things added to his body. Does look like normal Ogrin Tribes faction champion. And that's his avatar, what it looks like. He is smiling. Even if he looks like a pig that is smiling, he does have a smile on his face. This champion's name is called Brewguard Jeroboam. Brewguard Jeroboam. That's his name. I should move it a little bit so you can see it in full. Yeah, that's his name right there. Brewguard Jeroboam. He's which faction again? Defensive based champion, Ogrin tribe, like I said. And I just want to go straight to his skills and find out whether it's going to be useful or not. On this champion's A1, he attacks one enemy 2 times. What does the A1 do? A 35% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random ally's skill by 1 turn. That means your champions in your team will have a chance, booked up to, let's say, a 45% chance, booked up to a 50% chance of having one of your allies have their random skill cooldown reduced by 1 turn. It's not like 2 turns or something crazy. That A1 is going to be useful. I already think of a champion who already has this skill is Ancora, which is, it's a chance to, right? An Ancora, yes, but how much percent chance it has compared to his? If an ally had their cooldown decrease, also fills their turn meter by 10%. Does Ancora feel turn meter when she does the skill cooldown? No, I don't think so. But anyways, that's a useful A1. Let's just get it out of the way. That's not a decreased defense. It's not a weaken. It's not one of those A1s that is totally useless when you already have somebody else on the team doing it already. This A1 will definitely be useful. I've seen this A1 be more useful in PvP than in PvE, but definitely can be useful in some PvE content to help your damage dealers especially get their skills back when it's least expected. Now, if you pair this champion with somebody like a Gnot or somebody like especially for Doom Tower where you want them to do their nukes again and again, these skills come in handy to get your revivers getting their revive back again, get your damage dealers getting their big nukes off again. Very useful A1, so we cannot say these A1s are bad. Even if it's a 50% chance, it's a definitely better A1 than having some random debuff right here at a very low chance to land, right? So we can't hate on that A1 called Stout Smash. Now on the A2, they say this one is called This Rounds on Me, that he's kind of giving beer to the whole bar or something. He removes all debuffs from all allies. That's a full team cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown. This is standard for every legendary champion whose job it is to cleanse the team. That's a full team cleanse. The only thing is what makes him a legendary is what else can he do with this cleanse. Let's read on. He heals all allies by 15% of this champion's max HP. So we said it, we don't want healers based on the allies HP, right? The 15% heal is based on his own max HP, and that's what you want from your healers. This means they will be built with high HP so that whenever they heal, 15% of their HP will just go to everybody else, right? So that's a huge heal, enough to get all your allies back to full HP. Especially if you build a champion like this to 80 or even 100k HP, you're talking about a 15,000 heal. Yes, 15,000 HP heal on your champions is huge. Well, usually your champions are at 30k HP, 40k HP. So when you have 15k HP, maybe it's not enough to get them fully healed, but with the help of some masteries that boost healing and all that, definitely should be enough to boost any champions back to full HP if they're taking damage, right? Also heals all ally. Also he heals each ally by an extra 2% for each debuff removed from them by this skill. That's even more healing. That's what I'm saying. It's just not the 15%. It's not just what you're getting from the masteries. Also an extra 2% for each debuff. So definitely there is a lot of content in Raid where you will find champions who need debuffs removed from them. Whether it's from the arena or PvE content, there is definitely a lot of places where a full team cleanse is needed, especially when they've taken a bunch of debuffs on them. So, but I'm thinking of City of Centranos, Emu's boss. This champion cannot be used in that content because the A1 will be reducing the cooldown of your random ally skill. Definitely that's one content that you need a cleanser for, but he is a cleanser that cannot be used for that Emu's boss at all. Maybe against some of the waves he might come in handy. Now, he also places a shield buff on all allies equal to 50% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. I'm already impressed by this A1 and A2. I'm already impressed by the A1 and A2. It feels like a skill that every other champion already has in Raid. Shield, cleanse, healing. I feel like other people already have this. Is not unique. Don't get me wrong. This is not unique. If you're having problem with healing, shielding, or cleanse, removing debuff from you, Doom Priest could do it. Duchess could cover you up. what do you call it, big shielder like Brogni could do it. There are lots of options. Full team cleanse, and Korra could do it. She also brings a shield too after she cleanses. Mitrala, there are lots of options. So this is not an essential champion that you must have in your teams. But if you don't have all these names that I'm calling, or if you need him in specific areas where you think this can be useful, then he comes in to be one of 5 or 6 champions who already do something like this in raid. So it's not very unique, but there are definitely use cases for this type of champions in raid. Now let's move on to the third skill, which is going to be called Last Order. This is on a 4-turn cooldown. Let's see if it's going to also be special as the A1 and A2. Has a 75% chance of increasing the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. Increase duration of all enemy debuffs. That's not a very useful skill. I'll prefer him doing the A1 and the A1 and the A2 than this A3, because most likely there's not a lot of content where you want to rely on increasing duration of enemy debuffs. Maybe the Hydra, you could definitely use that for sure, because there are lots of debuffs that cannot have their duration increased, like provoke and all that. So there are lots of them. So definitely a lot of debuffs can also have their duration increased, but this is not a very essential skill. 100% chance when you spend books on it of increasing the duration of all enemy debuffs by 1 turn. Now it doesn't just say one enemy though, it's all the enemies, because normally in legendary champions we see this skill on, normally do it just for one champion, right? They just do for one champion, or maybe they hit one person and spread it all to the other people. So this feels like it's one that is not so common. I mean, there are epic champions who have something like this too. I can already think of Sandlash Survivor, who increases duration of debuffs, right? No, she decreases duration of the buffs on the enemies. I mean, there are some champions who have something similar like this. Also has a 75% chance of increasing duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn. That even makes it better. Now that's what separates a legendary champion from an epic champion, because he can do both. Increase our buffs. Now I like that one better than in decreasing duration of enemy debuffs. This champion obviously will need accuracy for the A1, will need accuracy definitely for the A3, but doesn't need accuracy for this A2. So this is a champion, a support champion who doesn't just need high HP, but also now needs accuracy. I'm liking it so far. This skill is on a 4-turn cooldown, so when you use it once, just forget about it, because it most likely will not be available for you again until the battle ends, except on long battles, right? Alright, so far the A2 and the A1 are impressive, but this Last Order will have certain niche areas where you might find it useful. Alright, Absolute Legend is a passive that is on a 2-turn cooldown. The passive effect is a turn meter reduction effect used against this champion are decreased by 50%. So he cannot really reduce his turn meter to 100% like you would other people, right? Also fills this champion turn meter by 20% whenever a stun, sleep, all these CC debuffs are placed on an ally. So if you try to stun any of our allies, but does it remove the debuffs though? If there are multiple champions in the team with this skill, if it effect would only activate once, yes. So he doesn't get full turn meter decrease, but whenever anybody tries to get stunned, sleeped, or provoked, feared, petrified, he's gonna get a bunch of turn meter. Increase this champion turn meter by 20% whenever a stun is placed on an ally. So if 4 people get stunned, that means he gets a full turn meter. Now I'm trying to look for the part of his skills that says he's gonna remove these debuffs from them. Please don't just let them get the stun or the provoke and then you now go and cleanse it. Is that what is happening? They want him to immediately get a turn so he can cleanse all this crowd control that is on the allies. Let's see. Whenever a stun blah 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 is removed or expires on an ally, fills their turn meter by 20%. They want him to be a PvP champion because that's where this will most likely be useful. This passive seems like it will most likely be more useful in that content. I can already tell though, like content like this new event dungeon, this could be useful in that content because of the boss does that AoE stun. And this skill might just give us a bunch of turn meter over the boss. Because you can't really have any answer for that stun on that event dungeon except maybe Mitrala goes after the boss turns out and cleanses everything. So this might be an answer, a solution to those players having issues with that endgame boss. A lot of us can beat level 30 because of the high stats required, and you can't deal with that stun, and the boss keep removing your buffs on you. Then this might be an answer just to that boss, because of he will stun you, you get a bunch of turn meter, you cleanse the stun so your allies can get a turn and get a bunch of turn meter field, and then begin to hit the boss and his side minions. This might be the reason why they put out the champion like this. But this passive doesn't happen every time. It happens on a 2-turn cooldown, so maybe before the boss gets stun you again, your passive is available again, ready to give you a bunch of turn meter for you to cleanse it. So I feel like number one priority for this champion while he will be in your team will be the A2 that does a full team cleanse. The number 2 priority will be this passive that has a turn meter field for him, and then when he cleanses your debuffs from you, especially your crowd control debuff specifically, you will have a bunch of turns on your allies. And then the 4th priority will be this skill right here that increase duration of your buffs and increase duration of the enemy's debuffs also. So this is not a champion that is totally trash. From what I saw initially, from all the noise that was made about this champion, I think people are just mad about the amount of time and resources they've spent this month of September. Nobody has anything in reserve. I don't even have 20 sacred shards saved right now for a summon rush that is coming up in 30th of September, or anything that this fusion will start with. I don't have it. I don't even have up to 4 sacred shards, I don't think. So we are not ready for a fusion for the month of October. That's the problem with this fusion. It's coming at a time when nobody has the resources, and it feels like there was no break. Maybe because we all went, a lot of us did go for that 5-star or even 4-star split soul for Thor. That's why. He also has an aura of increased ally accuracy in all battles by 60, which is not very common except in niche areas, again, where you have no choice but to use him in that content. So far I like this champion. I like what I see about him, and it's not the best champion we've ever seen in raid, but it definitely has areas where his support capability can help you. His defensive base though, despite the fact that you're building him with high HP, don't forget about his defense to be up to minimum 3,005 or 4k, even go crazy to 6,000 if you want, but definitely not a damage dealer at all. This seems like it's going to be a support unit, a tank, built in bolster set for endgame players who want to be wicked and build this champion into content like the arena, or built with stone skin set for players who want to use him also in the arena to cleanse everything, and then your allies can just get a bunch of turns and nuke the enemies. Then this champion does look not so bad. Brewguard Jeroboam, we're gonna call him Brewguard or Cold Brew. Anyways, I just wanted to take a second look, or this is the first time I've seen these skills. But before I end the video though, I'll go over to read exactly what Plarium says about this champion so I don't get anything wrong, right? So I've given you my opinion about him so far. Let's see what Plarium says about him. They say to start on 30th of September. His name is Brewguard Jeroboam. They did pronounce it for us, say Brewguard Jeroboam. That's how they say it should be pronounced, so get it right. Anyways, Ogren Trials faction, defensive based affinity force. Brewguard excels in arena. See, I knew it was going to have a use case for that content, where his specialized abilities counter turn meter reduction champions like a man's. So if a man's tried to do a bunch of stun on your allies, he's probably going to regret it, because Jeroboam will not have his full turn meter reduced. Does he get stunned though? It doesn't say, his passive skill doesn't say he won't get. He might also get a stun. So how does it cleanse it? Maybe high resistance Jeroboam build for arena? Anyway, they say he won't have his full turn meter reduced. It will be 50%, not like every of our allies that will have their full turn meter reduced. Maybe an answer to a man's. He's a perfect pick against enemy strategies that rely on turn meter manipulation. That's true. His A1 reduces cooldowns and boosts turn meter to keep your team moving faster. A2 is full team cleanser, followed by a substantial healing and a chunky shield, ideal for recovery after your opponent has deployed their offensive skills. So that's a go second team kind of. With his A3, Jeroboam prolongs the duration of all enemy debuffs and allies buffs. On top of that, he also fills every turn meter to keep your team ahead. Brewguard passive not only reduces all turn meter reduction effects for him by half, but also boosts your turn meter every time an ally gets crowd control debuff. So they didn't say anything special. It's still the same thing we just saw here in the skill. I thought they'll add a key area, but according to what Plarium is saying, it feels like he was made for PvP content. What do you think? Does he find more value in PvP or in PvE? I feel like I don't have any problems right now in PvP for content champions like this to help me in against Amans. Everybody bans Amans anyway. So maybe once somebody selects an Amans, you bring this champion in high resistance. So Amans cannot reduce his turn meter, and he just goes there and removes all the debuffs that is on your allies that Amans has put, and give a bunch of turn meter to them. How many percent? 20% turn meter fee. It's not going to give them an instant turn, but at least it makes Amans waste his turn. Kind of. Anyways, we can't wait to see this champion in game. And yeah, Brewguard is a reliable choice for teams facing heavy turn meter manipulation, keeping your champions resilient and constantly pushing forward. I think they just made him to a counter Amans, but it doesn't feel like he should not be stunned. His passive should say something about him cannot be stunned or something. But again, it's not that bad, I guess. Anyways, let me know what you think about this one. Do you think this Brewguard Jeroboam is one that is going to be an answer to your man's team in PvP content, or you already think of a PvE area that you're having issues with where he will definitely help you? This doesn't feel like a clan boss champion. He does have a case used for Hydra for sure, because it just gives you a bunch of turn meter filling, full team cleanse, shielding, and a lot of healing also. I think that's going to be his main point. The A2 is going to be his most used ability, second to this passive. Is this one that you have resources to go for, or do you think this is going to be a full skip for you? Definitely on my main account, where I have some resources left to go for, still for fusions like this, I would definitely be going for this one. Like I said, I don't even have up to 20 sacred shards, which I should be saving right now. So guaranteed void at 25, you pick up that epic Lady Mikage epic. Do I have any other resources saved up for a fusion? I don't know. Usually fusions don't give us a problem with shards these days anymore. It's the energy, the amount of energy and gems are spent today. I'm talking about going for this is this Fire Night event that is going on right now without a dungeon divers. I've gone crazy and finished the Fire Night. No, it wasn't Fire Night, it was Spider. It was Spider. I finished the Spider because it also gave us these prism crystals. I've done what I can to pick up that prism crystals. So maybe to end the video, I'll open the prism crystals right now since there's no champion chase. No, I'll wait. There's still like 2 days all the way to the 30th. Can I save my prism crystals to the 30th? I cannot. So this fusion will start before the first champion chase for the fusion. All right, and then Odin trial came up and I went crazy and completed it also. That's why I came up from 4,000 gems, 4,500 gems, all the way down to 2,000 gems. That's not a comfortable place for an endgame player to be in terms of the amount of gems that is currently being saved. So I finished these 2 events. There's nothing else happening in the game for me besides this classic arena tournament that is coming up. What am I doing? I'm getting Fae Hammer Titan event points, and if you go over there and check your counts right here, I'm almost close to the end with 1,210 points picked up out of the 1,500. Still looking for that event to skip, and that's going to be that card flip that is coming up, this adventure deck of fate that I'm covering behind me. That's the one I will skip, and I'm hoping it has that 200 or 250 points. I'll skip it all because it still doesn't have a Freya. I'm hoping we still don't have any news how the Freya will be given away. We don't know yet. We still, maybe a hero spot will come up after this during this fusion. That's what people are speculating, that this fusion will contain a hero spot, and yeah, maybe then you can pick her up. That's everything that is happening in raid today. I just wanted to hop on before I close the office and give you this information in case I did miss it when they posted it. I was so busy today. But hey, that's my opinion about this champion coming up in 30th of September. I'd love to know your opinions below also. Brewguard Jeroboam, is it one that you think is going to be worth going for? Do you even have the resources to go for this champion? or this is going to be an easy skip for you. From what I saw about his kit, it doesn't feel like an easy skip. His kit is not unique, it's not one that I don't have answers for already, but it feels like one that is going to be useful somewhere where I have no way of dealing with that turn meter that is coming in for me, or I have no way of dealing with this crowd control that is coming in. He's going to counter crowd control. Yeah. Later, guys.